Hi, I'm Dimitris Charalambidis, and in this presentation we'll talk about absolute value inequalities and more precisely about that case at which an absolute value is smaller than a negative number. We'll start by giving directly the method we apply to solve such exercises. We get that if absolute value of x is smaller or equal than theta, where theta is a negative number, then in that case we directly write that this inequality has no solutions. But why is that? As we know, an absolute value was geometrically defined as a distance and therefore as a positive number. Now let's see what the above inequality asks in words. Find the number x whose absolute value is less than a negative number, or in more even simple words, find the number whose distance from 0 is less than a negative number. But could a distance be less than a negative number since any distance is positive or at least equal to 0? The answer is of course not. And that's why we can't find any value of x which satisfies this inequality, and that's why this inequality cannot have any solutions. So, no matter what the expression inside an absolute value is, if the absolute value is less than a negative number, then we immediately respond that the inequality doesn't have any solutions. For example, all the below inequalities will have no solutions. Absolute value of 2x minus 5 smaller than negative 5, absolute value of 3x squared plus 4x plus 9 smaller or equal than negative 1, or even absolute value of x plus 1 divided by 3 minus 6 smaller or equal than negative 7, all these inequalities will have no solutions since in each case we have an absolute value smaller than a negative number. Don't forget to first solve for the absolute value in the given expression before you start solving the inequality itself. For example, given the inequality 2 times absolute value of x minus 3 plus 8 smaller or equal than 4, we must first solve it for this absolute value. We must first solve it for x minus 3 and then start solving the inequality. In this case, we would write that 2 times the absolute value of x minus 3 is smaller or equal than 4 minus 8, which is equal to negative 4. And then by dividing both sides by 2, we would get that the absolute value of x minus 3 is smaller or equal than negative 2, which of course is an inequality at which we have an absolute value smaller than a negative number, with, according to what we mentioned earlier, this will have no solutions. For any questions about this presentation, you can leave comments down below, or you can contact me with one of the following ways. As always, thank you for your time.